Hello, I'm Sophia.
And hey, I'm Kristen, and we are
Under the Barbell.
Over the Bullshit.
And we're a podcast for women who are sick of being told to just eat less, move more, and what they really want is to get strong, take up space, feel confident, and age well.
That's what we're all about, empowering women to live for more than a before and after photo.
So, wherever you are, grab a coffee or a pre-workout and hit play, because your anti-diet culture BFFs have arrived. Hey, hi, hello.
Hello.
What is up?
How's it going, you bobbers?
You bobbers, we did it. Successful surprise.
Did the damn thing. My
we
God.
had a successful surprise. And like all the previous episodes, and like we knew February was like beginning of February. So any episode that you listen to.
Oh, you, not
me and Kiana.
We.
No, not you. Yes, me and Kiana. Anytime that like we were recording and you're listening to an episode and we're talking about the Arnold and like, oh, is there streaming? Or like, let us know how it goes.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear about it. Oh, we were
damn.
And
like
we were
I told my husband, I was like, I could never trust you again. I could never trust you again because he was in on it the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so if y'all don't know what we're talking about, if you didn't see it on our socials,
backstory.
I competed in powerlifting at the Arnold Classic up in Columbus about 2 weeks ago. It was March 8th or 7th that weekend.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks. And unbeknownst to me, Sophia and Kiana drove down from Sioux Falls and surprised me while I was just minding my own damn business, walking on the treadmill because my hips were tight after driving in a car all day. And we have never met in person before. So that was the first time we met in person, and
we legit, we got up at 3 a.m. to leave, so we could, and I'm so glad it worked out this way. It was like a 13-14 hour drive, and I'm glad it worked out to surprise you on Friday because I could not hold it in anymore. I was like, I need this to happen. I'm so excited. I want it to happen, and also I just thought it would be hard to get together with you Saturday, Sunday. Like I knew Friday if we could get to your hotel and have Sam and your son bring us to you, like that would be the best way to do it. And honestly, it could not have worked out any better. I like had it perfectly how it would go in my head, and that's actually honestly what happened. Like
that never happened.
You were just complete. Like I go into
the
room to the exercise room, open the door, you're just like in complete shock. And then what the fuck?
Yeah. I stood for a minute and I was like, what am I seeing? Like it was like my brain could not compute what I was looking at in the doorway of this. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God. Yeah. I was like, what was it? What the fuck? Is that what I said?
Yes, I think so.
Are you fucking kidding me? Or no, I said that you've got to be shitting me. And I don't know. There was a lot of things. There was a lot. I had no control over what was coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. And I remember being like, I asked Sam, I was like, do we need to be careful about texting? Like, because it started on Instagram, I DM'd him, and then he gave me his number to text him, but I was like, do we need to be careful about this? Like, is it going to show up when you're driving, or like, are you going to see it, whatever? And he's like, oh no, it shouldn't be a problem. Like, we don't pay attention to like our messages. But still, I was like, what if he's showing you something on his phone and then my name comes up? I was like freaking out, worried about that. And so, props to him because even me and like Kiana mentioned, like, we don't know how he kept a straight face around you when he was texting us because
I don't know either.
Yeah. And he changed my name, right? Didn't he change my name to
Yeah,
something?
he changed your name in the text to something like with work or something so that I wouldn't even like acknowledge it. And the thing is with him, and I think we told y'all this before, like he cannot keep a secret from me for anything. Like literally when he when he proposed to me, I knew he was going to because he told me that he got the ring. He couldn't even keep it a secret enough to not tell me that he has the ring. So I'm like, okay, so you have it. Now I'm just like waiting for you to give me the damn thing. Like what? He can't keep a secret. So the fact that he kept this for like a month is just bonkers. Yeah.
And I don't know if I told you this. So I was texting him, and this had to have been like the night before the the day before or whatever, or maybe a couple days before. And okay. Okay, so this was a couple days before, and I just said how I gotta check with Kiana to see where we're staying, and just thought I'd keep him posted about Friday and whatever. Just thought we'd keep each other posted. And he's like, "This is so cool. She is going to be so happy." Hold on.
Oh, don't make me
Wait
cry
for
again.
it.
I'm sick of crying, damn it. Okay.
I know. He's like, "Seeing her happy is the greatest thing in the world
Oh.
to me." Oh my God. I know. I saw that and I'm like,
stop it.
oh my God.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I was like,
goodness.
oh my God, I love that. Like, that's just, yeah. Your family, your husband, your son, oh my God, they're just the most genuine, nice humans.
Thank you.
And yeah, oh my God. And just like the excitement that they both had for this and seeing you happy is like, just makes my heart happy.
They are pretty fucking rad. Like every time I compete or whatever, I always do like an appreciation post for them. And sometimes, I think this is, a lot of us do this, but I always think like, whoever reads this, like, what are they going to think about it? You always worry about like being judged or whatever. And so I always think like I'm always making these posts about them and like how thankful I am for them and how supportive they are and how I literally could not do half or even less of what I do without them and their support. And I'm like, I swear people probably think that I'm just like so full of shit, but no, seriously.
No, for real. I saw it firsthand. And even when you were competing, your son, he was all the phone. He just like he got upright, like off to the side, like such a good position. He was just like all in it, videoing. He even got like some of your teammates, I think. But yes, and he would get so excited when you got it. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, let's go!" Like he got so excited. I was just like, "Oh my God."
On that last deadlift, I pulled it, and as I was kind of going back down, and I was waiting to hear the guy say "good lift," I could hear him over all the music, all the everything. I could hear him like, ah! Like it was his voice like stood out over all of it. And I was just like, man, that's just fucking rad,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've said this probably a million times before, but I am an incredibly lucky human to have a kid as amazing as he is, because a lot of teenagers are real assholes. And he has his moments. He's a human and he's a teenager, but like he is such a good, like he's an incredible son, but he's just an incredible human. Like I so admire like what a good human he is and how, where his heart is and that kind of thing. I'm a very, very, very lucky person. And my husband too. I don't want to leave him out of that because, also lucky there. But yeah, man, the both of them, like it's just, and I think a lot of that comes from, it's always just been the three of us. Like I lived in Vegas when he was born, like my husband and I did when he was born. And it was just us, we didn't have our grandparents or whatever to like drop him off and go do whatever. It was always us. And so even when we would go do anything, like we really didn't even do date nights a whole lot. It was always family nights. Everywhere we went, he would just come with us, he was just part of it. And it's always, and then we moved here to Nashville and the same thing. We don't have family here. So it's always just been kind of the three of us looking out for each other and sticking together all the time. And I just think that's kind of part of how why we are the way we are, because it's always just been the three of us. Like we are all we got, and we take care of each other. So it was just fucking cool. And when we were after we met y'all in the hotel and we went back into our hotel room, like I was saying to my husband, I'm like, I cannot believe you kept this secret the whole time. And my son starts laughing and he was like, a lot of other couples have trust issues the other way. Where they're like, what? I'm like, he's like, no, you have trust issues that he's going to surprise you with something really cool again.
Yeah. Wow. That's such a good point.
Yeah.
That's so true. Damn. That's funny. That's good though.
And then, I don't know. It must have been, I don't know if it was this past weekend or whenever it was, but you had texted me asking me like when I was diagnosed with cancer and whatever. I answered you, and then we were driving. I think we're going to Aldi, and I was like, Sophia just randomly asked me whatever. I'm like, what is she? She's up to something. And he goes, are you just never going to trust Sophia ever again?
It's because of I was making that post and I want to make sure I didn't like get it wrong or say anything that.
Once I saw the post, I was like, oh yeah, that's what she was doing. Yeah, but it was funny. He was like, are you just never going to trust her again after this? Like, I don't know. I don't put anything
Oh,
past y'all anymore because that
yeah.
was huge. Like, that was,
Yeah, I
and
love
I,
surprises, so I was like
God, I
I
just,
loved it.
yeah, I can't. And again, I said this a million times, even that weekend, but like, you guys, and then also my sister-in-law, Rachel, had come into town. So I'm from, for people that don't know, where I'm from, my hometown is only a couple hours from Columbus. When I was supposed to compete Friday and not Saturday, my sister-in-law Rachel was coming in, my brother and his wife were going to come in and whatnot. But then when it got changed to, I think, did I just say Saturday? When it got changed to Sunday, they weren't able to make it for Sunday. And so Rachel had already bought tickets and everything to go to the thing on Friday. So she went anyway. She normally goes anyhow, just every year anyway, just because it's just, it's just cool.
Yeah.
And so she was just going to go anyway. So she was there and she brought a gift from my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. So my husband, Rachel is my husband's sister. And then from his brother and his other sister brought me his gift. And I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? And I open it up and so I wear Chuck Taylor shoes a lot. And they got me a pair of high top Chucks that so my brother-in-law lives in Vegas and my sister-in-law lives in Ohio. And so they literally shipped a shoe. I don't know which one of them bought them, but then they shipped the shoe to the other one. And
Oh!
so they each had one shoe and they hand painted each of them separately. So one shoe is from my sister-in-law Lauren, one is from my brother-in-law
Oh
Scott.
my god, that's
And
so cool.
yeah, so they each hand painted it with
I
like
did
all
not know
kinds of,
that.
yeah, it was pretty cool because they're both like very like, and my husband is too. They're like very artistic and whatnot, which I can't even draw a straight line personally, but they are obviously all very,
That's
very
so
talented
freaking cool.
people. And yeah, and so like all these things on the shoes had to do with just so like one of them has like my girl gang logo that I use for my clients, and they actually on the tongue of the one is like the purple podcast logo that we use,
Yes, I
and
saw that.
on the one my brother-in-law did, he did like it says on there like long story short I survived, which is what I have on my tattoo, my breast cancer tattoo, and
Oh, cool. Yes.
stuff like that. So like so I
Yes.
opened that up and I'm looking at all this and I was like, what the hell? So I cried then too. And
Yep.
I just and so like already that was like, oh my God. And I was on the treadmill texting them and I was saying to them like, I don't know even what to say, like like things just don't feel adequate. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
I have is to say thank you. But that doesn't feel like enough to say thank you. And then
Yeah.
you go walking in the damn door. Like literally that's what I was doing when you walked in is I was texting them. And
And you
so
were
then
surprised to see Sam, right? Like because Sam was supposed to be doing something
yeah,
in your room,
so
right?
what it was I was texting with them, thanking them for the shoes, and I had texted Sam and said, "Hey, can you get like a good picture of the shoes?" Because I wanted to post it on my Instagram stories. And so I was like, "Can you get like, set it over like by the window with like some good lighting or whatever and get a good picture of the shoes so I can post it?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it in a minute." And I'm like, okay, I'm like figuring like he's probably pooping or something. I don't know. And so I'm like, fine, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. I'm continuing to text. I'm waiting for him to send me this picture. And then he's at the door. And I remember thinking when he got to the door, I was like, you could have just texted it to me. You didn't need to like walk me the picture on the phone. You know what I mean? I was like, what are you doing? Send me the damn picture. Like, I don't understand why you didn't send the picture. And then you pop up behind him and I'm like, what the what? Oh, it was just so crazy. It was so crazy. So like, again, another instance of thank you will never be enough because that was just like beyond awesome.
Ugh,
And
that was amazing.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was fucking
I
crazy.
loved
And
it.
the meet went great. I did so much better than I did in December because I think a huge part of that was just because I really truly made it a goal, not just a goal I said out loud, but like internally too. I made it a goal that I needed and I wanted to have fun. And this was like a really big deal for me just because like I've been to the Arnold several times before and the expo and you saw what it was like it's just sheer chaos. That's how it
Yeah.
always was in the past too. It was just, I remember being there and looking at like the athletes and stuff that are in the different areas doing the different events. And I was like, man, that's just so freaking cool. And so like, for me, like always having been someone who went and watched other people participate, like the opportunity to be on the other side of that to participate was just really freaking cool just because I never thought I would have that opportunity, And so I really was like, okay, don't like ruin this opportunity with putting so much pressure on yourself and with, this is awesome. No matter how you perform, this is really freaking cool. Just go enjoy it. And I tried really, like, I didn't even put my earbuds in. I tried to stay super present with all of my teammates, talking with my team because I rarely get to compete with other people. I'm usually always by myself. And so I was like, just to try to take it all in and multiple times. So, you go up, I guess, 9 times, 3 for squat, 3 for bench, and 3 for deadlift. And there was 2 different times. I think one of them was bench and one of them was deadlift, where, like, I was kinda just standing kinda in the doorway waiting for them to change the weights, and I was just sorta standing there, and when you look out past the chairs where y'all were sitting, it's just this expo, and there's just, like, thousands of freaking people, and, like, I just
Yeah.
kinda stood there, and kinda looked, and I was like, that this is, like, I'm gonna cry. This is, like, the moment I was thinking about, like, I'm always one of them, and this time I get to be one of
Oh.
an athlete,
Oh,
you
I
know what I
just
mean?
got
Like,
goosebumps.
yeah,
I just got
it was just
goosebumps. Yeah.
it was very surreal, it was, like, a super
Yeah.
surreal moment, and I am very proud of myself for maintaining my promise to make sure I had fun with it and not stress out over it and not like
Mhm.
ruin any part of the experience with stress and pressure and all of that. And it ended up being, I mean, not necessarily like numbers wise, but for everything else, it ended up being, I would probably say, the best meet of my life ever. I've
Yeah.
never gone 9 for 9 before where all 9 of my lists counted. Usually I miss at least 1 or 2. And so that, like, I've never done that before. I finally got my 300-pound deadlift, which I'd been working to get back to since I came back from cancer treatment. So now it's just we're
Yep.
past that now. Like my personal record is 325, but that was like all the way back in 2020. And I was like, who knows if I'll ever get back to that again. But if I could at least get back to 315 so I can get back to 3 plates, that would be pretty cool. And my bench press is the one, honestly, coming back, I expected to be the worst by far, just because breast cancer and radiation. I just figured all the damage and things that had been done through that. I anticipated that not being great, but I mean, I'm still a little kind of a ways off, but it's progressing way faster than I expected it to. So like that was 120 that I did at the meet, and my max before was 135, which for bench press, that's kind of a lot. That's a big
Yeah.
jump. Like 15 pounds is a lot of weight for a woman on bench press, but I honestly didn't. When I started, I expected I would be like maybe still around 100 or so.
Yeah.
At this point. And so that I was happy with that. And then squats, I didn't wrap my knees like I talked about in the last meet. I just used my sleeves, which I'm so glad I did because that whole like warm up area situation and how far away things were. If I had had
Yeah.
my knees wrapped, that would have honestly probably been a huge shit show. So I'm really glad that I just happened to be like, nope, I'm just wearing my knee sleeves. I just want to go off, don't put that pressure in because it would have been very chaotic. So I'm glad I didn't do that. And
Yes.
I got 230 at the meet. And prior to that, in sleeves, since cancer, my max in sleeves is 220. So that was like a 10-pound PR since cancer. I
Damn, yeah.
think I'm trying to remember. I think my all-time max in sleeves is around 240 or 245. So I'm really not far off of that.
Yeah.
But I do plan on going back into knee wraps. I just have to, kind of relearn, I think, how to do all that. I need to let my, I think I've learned a lot about like myself, I guess maybe, and just competing in seeing how much better I performed when I let the pressure go.
And have fun.
Yeah. And I think,
Yeah.
as a competitor and as a woman in 2020, you always feel pressure for everything.
Yeah.
And I think I thought that I needed that pressure in order to perform well. And this taught me that, oh, actually, it's the opposite.
Shit.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I was considering taking a break from powerlifting. I don't think I can do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I have
I was
really
gonna
gone back
ask
and
you.
forth
I
a
was gonna
lot.
ask you why, because Kiana asked,
Mhm.
like, do you know why she's taking a break from it? Because I think that you had
Yeah.
mentioned it before you told your coach, but
Yeah, I'd
yeah.
mentioned to him, like, that I was considering it.
Yeah.
Part of it was just, I don't think I shouldn't have jumped back into it as quickly as I did, to be honest. Like, I should have given my body more time to heal after cancer treatment ended. But I didn't. I mean, it is what it is. So I was like, and there are a lot of aches and pains. Both of my shoulders are feeling some kind of way. My left hip is still crazy. My left hip has been messed up for years, actually. I'm still working on this hip shift and my hip mobility. Like, there's just a lot of things where I was like, I think that maybe the smart thing might be, this is what I thought before. Maybe I kind of still do, but it doesn't mean I'm going to listen. But that's like the smart thing might be to just take a break from the super heavy, like low rep things and just focus more on like higher rep volume while I work through a lot of the mobility things and work through and
Yeah.
just kind of build back a muscle that I've lost, not only from treatment, but just I've lost a considerable amount of weight since I was at like my highest ability wise, like lifting weight wise. Like I think 17 or 18 pounds since then. And I know that 17 or 18 pounds wasn't just in fat. I know that I've lost muscle.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe I need to just take some time to just rebuild some muscle again and to, fix the mobility and whatnot. And also, I told y'all, like, when I did that seminar a while back that I loved the kettlebell portion of
Oh,
that one
yeah.
seminar that I did, and so I was like, I really kinda wanna explore kettlebells a little bit, but I'm always afraid to do that stuff because I'm afraid it'll impact my powerlifting training. And so I thought maybe I need to just kinda take a break from this, focus on higher reps, focus on building muscle back, go ahead and explore and learn the kettlebell stuff so I can apply that with my clients and things too. And so in my head, that's that's what made sense and that was the reasoning behind it. But the more I sat here and thought about it, like I've made so much progress in the last year that the thought of losing that progress again just to have
Mm,
to rebuild it, because I know I would eventually always come back to powerlifting. I don't see me
yeah.
ever not powerlifting. And so then I'm like, if I know that I'm going to be coming back to it, why lose all this progress that I have fought so hard to get in this last year just to do it all again? Like, why would
That's
I
true.
do that? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I talked with my I'm actually gonna meet with him next week, but I messaged him because he knew that I was considering it. And I was like, "You know what I'm thinking like, I'm gonna attempt to have my cake and eat it too. So we'll see how this goes. Stay tuned, everybody." But I told him, I said, "If I can go down to 3 days a week with my powerlifting training. That will give me one more flexibility in my schedule, which I just need, especially this time of year. My son has track meets and all kinds of stuff going on, end of the school year stuff. Everything is happening, and I don't know. Maybe you feel this too. Like as a coach, I put a lot of pressure on myself as far as getting my workouts in, and if I miss a workout, like I have guilt. I feel kind of shame, like I'm not living up to what I preach to other people, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah. Yeah.
I told him, like, I was like, I need to not have that pressure. The pressure is completely self-induced. It's not him at all. But I need a little bit of relief of the pressure of the workouts. So if I can go down to 3, I normally do 4. If I can go down to 3 days a week, and then that'll give me 1 or 2 days where I can dedicate towards working with the kettlebell stuff. And where it's a little more like metabolic training, like, cardio-ish type stuff.
Yeah. And more like mobility. You can explore
Mhm.
kettlebells.
Yes.
Yeah, can just,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So we're gonna
I
see.
like that.
I've been really craving more like athletic type
That's how
training.
I was. That's how I
Hmm.
was. Yes.
God, I do remember you saying that actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about that before. I
When
forgot about that.
yes, like, it would've been like maybe like, it was towards the end of the year, like October, November time, because I hired a coach because I just
Hmm.
was like wanting more, like craving that like
Yeah.
athletic type stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly. So I've really been craving that. And that's a part of what we did at a seminar with the kettlebells. It was called iron cardio. So it was very like it was like that. And yeah, so I said, well, we'll see. And my thought process too, I was like, I don't know if I might be way off on this thought process, but my thinking is it was funny. It's like I want to, work on the mobility and kind of fix the aches and the pains. So here I am over here, like, let's do some explosive athletic training. Like, is it like doesn't make sense? But my thought process is if I can strengthen my body in that way, which is very different than what we do with powerlifting, then maybe, maybe, hopefully, maybe it will help fix a lot of the issues that I've been having.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would only help. I feel like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think it
So,
would coincide really well with it.
That's what I'm hoping. So I
Yeah.
said, so we're gonna try to have our cake and eat it too, and try to do both things. And at least
Nice.
until like if I sign up for another meet, I would probably go back to the 4 days training for prep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least for now, I
Yeah.
think I'll still be able to make progress with 3 without the pressure of a meet prep. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, so that's the plan for
Nice.
that. So that yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do.
Speaking
So
of that,
I was gonna say that leads me to a question for you. Is that what
okay,
you're about to
I was
bring up?
wondering. Yes, I was
Uh
wondering if
huh.
you remembered. I think right.
Yes.
What's
Yes.
your
So
question?
you had mentioned in your post, you said that it's I don't remember what the hell exactly you said, but something about like it's made you want to like try a new style
Mm-hmm.
of training or a new avenue or something. And it was very cryptic.
It
And
was.
so I was like, okay, what's Sophia talking about? So I'm here and I told you, I said I have a couple of things in mind. So I'll tell you what like I've been thinking and then
Okay.
you
Yeah.
go from there. So I was thinking, one was I was like, oh, strongman. Because not only did we watch a lot of that, obviously, Kiana does strongman. We were watching a lot of that. We were at the Arnold, and it was freaking incredible.
It was
Watching the
unreal.
things these people were doing was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And so I know like y'all watch all that, so that might have inspired you. But also after Kiana's meet, like you had posted the videos of you like doing the log and all that. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, she seems like she's kind of into that. And then I was like, but it did come up while we were all together, where you had said like either strongman or powerlifting, and Kiana was like, powerlifting it would be better for you just because it's more structured and that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so we had that conversation, and now you've seen a meet and whatnot, which tends to be very inspiring for people because meets
Yeah.
are fucking fun. I
Yeah.
always tell my clients anytime they're considering one, if I have a local one, I'm like, just come and see it. And once you see it, it's usually like, oh, hell yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So then I started kind of going back and forth between these two. And then I was like, watch it be something not even either one of these two. So what is it?
Okay. Okay, yes. So before I go into that, so at the Arnold's, yeah, the seeing the strongman, the powerlifting, like all of that really inspired me to want to just get back to like a competitive, like something competitive. And
Mhm.
actually, before the Arnold's, Kiana had asked me like, would you ever want to like compete in something? And actually, she's been asking me over the course of like the past like 6 to 12 months, I would say, like every now and then, like asking if I, like, what about like, I don't know, CrossFit, or I considered a high rocks at one point, but like, oh fuck. Like right now, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think myself. So like she would ask me like, yeah, I think, and we've talked about what about a Spartan, or like, because I've done a Tough Mudder, I've done Spartan before, just like one for each of those, and because I like obstacle type of stuff.
Mhm.
So like every now and then she'll keep asking me. So we were driving home from the Arnold, and she asked me again, like brought it up, and we were talking through it, and I'm like, I'm just not excited about any of those things. I don't get excited about strongman. She also mentioned how like I'm super form
Mhm.
conscious, and I don't like strongman is all about just like getting the weight up,
Yep.
and like yes, form to an extent, but also to an extent not. You're just
It
getting the weight
doesn't
up, and
yeah, it doesn't really
doesn't matter
matter.
as much. Yeah. So that was one thing that I'm just like not all about.
Mhm.
Strongman didn't really excite me. High rocks didn't really excite me. CrossFit, like maybe a little bit. Powerlifting also didn't really excite me, and so it's neither of those. It's actually neither of
Damn.
those.
Okay.
I know. Um, so we were talking through it, and I like squat, bench, and deadlift. Like I like those things. Out of strongman and like any of those, it probably would be powerlifting. But yeah, I just wasn't excited about it. And then Kiana brought up, what about Olympic weightlifting?
Oh
And
yeah. Oh,
I
you would
was
be good at that.
yes, and my
Yeah.
stomach was like, hell yes, like that excites me. I've actually done Olympic lifts before, like with dumbbells and kettlebells, like
Mhm.
cleans and snatches. I've tried doing barbell stuff. My sister goes to a gym that does a lot of those type of lifts, and so I've done a little bit of that before. But my technique and my form isn't the greatest.
Mhm.
And so yes, Olympic weightlifting, that's something that I want to get into. That's like
Yes.
something kind of the
Love
next
it.
thing. And just like
Yes.
for something new, something like a challenge,
Yeah.
I lift weights and I work out because it's just what I do now. And that's fine. Sometimes I do it even if I don't want to, if it's not exciting.
Mhm.
But yeah, it would be kind of cool to just have something to work towards, and
Yes.
then to show that off or to like
Yeah.
like do like compete in something that
Yeah.
is just yourself too. Like maybe you're a part of a team, but also like it's just you. And so I am looking at someone local to do in-person training
Good.
just so yeah, like I can watch videos and stuff, but like,
It's not the
just
same.
like what we teach, yeah, I need to get technique down. I want to get that
Yeah.
form. I want to get a good foundation. I want someone in person to like teach me how to
Mhm.
do it. And I struggle. Like I've done a little bit of barbell, like I said, and it's not the greatest, but yeah. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at. I
Hey, I
actually
love it.
yeah, I've talked to someone here locally. I posted in a Facebook group to get recommendations and someone reached out to me at a gym and I saw him yesterday and he's gonna put me through a workout next week. He seems to really know his shit. He has experience in Olympic weightlifting. He has
Good.
experience in those lifts. So I'm very confident in it. And we're gonna go from there. We're gonna see. Yeah.
Yay. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm excited.
My cuz that is also at the Arnold. Did you see any of that
Yeah,
in
no,
like
and
the
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. She said
Yeah.
that it was there, and I was like, "Oh, shit." I
Yeah,
didn't
it was not in the expo. It was like in the hallway of the expo. It was like kind of some of
Yes.
those rooms
Yes,
off the
yes, yes,
thing.
yes. And did
Yeah.
you see the video with the little girl? It's like a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah, she was
Did you
on the
see that?
same
So that
platform
was
I was on.
Oh, that really? Oh, that's
Yes,
where
that was the day before. It
Oh,
was yeah, she was there on Saturday, I think. It was either Friday or Saturday, and mine was on Sunday, but it was the same thing.
okay.
I was like, "Damn, we missed it by a day. That would have
I
been
know.
so freaking cool to see her."
That would've been cool to see. Yeah.
But yeah, so we were it was before we went into the expo, I think it was. So we had to when on Saturday, we had to like walk through, all those big hallways to get to where I had to weigh in the day before my meet. And so as we were walking through, we were looking and watching some of the Olympic lifting and whatnot. And my son started asking questions about it. And I was like, I'm like, it's definitely something I've been kind of intrigued by. But again, this comes back to like a lot of my issues with mobility and things. I'm like, honestly, the thought of like that weight, like I can barely
I'm
you
gonna
know,
struggle with that.
yeah, and so I was like, I don't know if that'd be safe for me, just with a lot of my issues, and plus, like, a lot of this tightness that I still have with, like, even right now when I
Mhm.
just put my arm up, like, this is all pulling so bad, just
Yeah.
just at that height, let
Mhm.
alone any
Yeah.
higher, and, but anyway, so he was asking a lot of questions about it, and I was like, "Dude," I'm like, "You would actually," because he used to compete in powerlifting, um,
Oh, I didn't know
years ago.
that.
So in our federation, you only have to be 13. So I think 13 and 14, he competed 2 or 3 times. I don't remember exactly, but he's got a couple of Tennessee state records and stuff. And
Oh, damn.
yeah, yeah. And
Nice.
but then that's when he started getting more into running, cross country and
Oh,
track and
gotcha.
things. So he doesn't lift as much because now he runs. But he's talking about like he'll be a senior next year. And so he's thinking college, like he doesn't expect to run on a college team. So
Mhm.
he plans on doing like a rec thing or like what do they call it like on college
Intramural
campuses?
sports?
Intramurals. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he plans on still running with that, but he's like, it's not going to be as competitive as he does now. So he'll be able to have more flexibility in what he does. And
Yeah.
so he was like, maybe when I'm in college, I could look into learning Olympic lifting. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's exactly what you should
Hell
do. So,
yeah.
so that'll be cool to like see your journey and things. I'll make sure he sees
Yes.
that and he can kind of, learn from you and get inspired by you to
I'm
do all that.
excited.
Cause that's very cool. Yeah. I'm excited
Yeah.
for you. And so you
Yeah.
said next week is when you start?
Yeah, well, he's gonna put me through a workout and then I'll decide, like
I
and
see.
there's different, like, ways to do it, like, I could he's really flexible, like, I could maybe do a couple times a week or maybe a couple times a month, and I told him, I
Mm,
was like, "I'm open, like, to kind of ideas," like, if I meet with him maybe, um, once every other week even, but he gives me workouts to do,
mhm.
that will, like, kinda coincide with that, and if he gives me like just things to work on technique wise on my own, like I will do that. I'm all for that. I just want a little
Yeah.
bit of the in person. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if I'll do like once a week or twice a week or a couple every other week. I don't really know. But yeah, so next week Tuesday, he'll put me through a workout, see how it goes, see like, if just if I if it feels like the right fit basically
Yeah, sure,
and
sure.
go from there. But I got good
Yeah.
vibes. I feel good about it right now
Good.
even just meeting with him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited.
Yay.
I'll
I
let you know
can't
how it
wait to
goes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear how it goes. That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's just really something to be said for just learning that new skill. I think that's why like the kettlebell
Yes.
thing is so appealing to me because it's a very different type of training than what I'm used to doing or what I'm familiar with. And so like the idea of just learning this new skill is really exciting, you know?
Yeah, and that made
So
me think of, I don't remember if it was Chelsea or if it was someone else that listened to the podcast and sent in, like, a question,
Mhm.
but one way, like, people ask, "Well, how do you spice it up? How do you make it fun again?" Like,
Yeah,
the
I
boring
remember that.
aspect, learn a new skill. It can be a
Yeah.
skill of a certain exercise. It could be a skill of
Mhm.
a whole different type of fitness, like, just
Yeah.
learning a new skill.
Yep.
Yeah, can be it.
Yep. I did, I don't know if I ever told you this, but it was, I guess maybe 2 years ago, I kind of was going through the same where I was just really feeling this urge to do something different with my body. Like, I've been powerlifting for so many years. I wanted something different, and I didn't know what that something different was. Like, I was even looking into, like, some of these, like, boxing cardio classes. Like, I was just looking at all these different things because I just wanted to move my body in a different way. And what I ended up doing is I took several pole dancing classes. It was so fun.
I need to
Yeah.
do that. I
Oh,
want to do that.
it was so much
That's
fun, and
awesome.
it was crazy. Like, I have no rhythm. Like, I don't move my body. I am a power lifter. Like, I'm very, like, structured, up, down,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
Like,
how
I'm
I
like,
am. Yeah.
unless I get a couple of drinks in me, and even then I only think that I'm a good dancer, I'm not actually a good
Same.
dancer, you know what I mean? And,
Yes.
so I was very like, even the teacher was just like, "Loosen up." I'm like,
You're
"This
so
is as
stiff.
loose as
Yeah.
I get." I don't know. It was obviously very different. It was very much outside of my comfort zone. I went alone. I had a friend that was supposed to come with me, but she ended up having like a family emergency and some other things come up, and
Mm,
so she wasn't able to make it to any of the classes that I did. And so I was very proud of myself, though I didn't let that stop me. I went alone to
nice.
this group where all these
Oh
other
my
people knew each
gosh.
other because they would go every week or whatever. But
That's awesome.
I went alone and I did it. And what was just very cool about it was just seeing how the strength that I've built in the gym made me so much stronger. Like, I was
Oh,
easily
yeah.
able to, like, things that were like in the more advanced classes were actually the things I was better at than the basics, because the basics
Yeah.
were just trying to move my stiff ass body, you know? But like, I
Yes.
was very easily able to pull myself up on the pole. I was easily able to hold myself up with my thighs, and like, because I have this strength that I can do all of these things like climbing the damn pole. Just don't
Mhm.
expect me to dance on the pole because it's not going to go well. But yeah, but like, that's just another example, you know, just learn something new
New.
and learn
Mhm.
how to move your body in a new way. It can be so like invigorating.
Yeah. Do you wanna know a fun fact about me?
Yeah, here we
Speaking
go.
of pole dancing. So
Oh, what?
can you believe I'm saying this? Uh I wanna take pole dancing classes too. I just think it would be fun to do, and I've seen people in Sioux Falls that do it. But when are you familiar with the Sturgis Rally?
No.
Okay, so it's in South Dakota, but it's pretty big. Like, people from all over the country, motorcyclists, bikers, like,
Mm,
will ride, and it's like a
okay.
7, 8, 9-day
Oh,
thing.
wow.
Well, I worked at one of the campgrounds one year, and I did some pole dancing.
Hey.
So, yeah, I had a lot of liquid courage to help me on that because I
Uh-huh.
had no experience, and some of the girls helped me, but, yeah, so really, now you bobbers know this about me, but I usually this is not something that I would, like, post. Not many people know about it, but yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
god. So was this for like tips? Like, did you make any
Oh,
money off
yeah,
of this?
I
Oh,
made bank,
hell
like,
yeah.
it was one of the popular ones too. Buffalo chip is one of the bigger ones there, and my cousin knew someone, so, like, I had a connection to get in, but and this is crazy because this was one step out of my shell because I was always so shy. Like, people,
Mhm.
if you know me, you would be like, maybe right now not as shocked, but back then, like, it's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
And I was never that person, never like that. And it was my second year of college, and even my first year, I didn't really drink. I went home a lot on the weekends. When I got to my second year of college, after that summer, it was kind of when I got hit my party phase.
Mhm.
But I made enough money to pay my semester, basically. Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah,
Wow.
I made
Oh
a
my
lot of
god.
money. Yeah,
Okay.
so good experience,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
What did you wear? Should I
Let's
or
just
or
say,
what didn't you wear?
I yeah, very, like, minimal, yes,
Okay,
very minimal.
fair.
Also, I did, uh, some body paint went down.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
here for
body
that.
paint,
Yeah. Yeah.
pasties,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. Hell yeah, man. Own that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
lost a lot of weight, though. Like, I remember by the end of it, and also it was crazy because I was so used to wearing very minimal clothes, like,
Mhm.
very minimal. And then by the end of the week, when we like drove back, going into even a gas station or like just in normal life, it felt weird to
Mm.
wear clothes. That's how like normal
Oh,
it got for me.
interesting.
And also
Yeah.
I just lost a lot of weight because all I did was drink and like
Yeah. Drink and
barely ate.
dance.
So it was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, drink and dance.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was also some shit that kind of went down, but I'll save that for another
Oh,
time.
okay. Okay. Yeah, that's
So,
a
but yeah.
good one. That was a good one. I'm over here telling you bobbers how I shit my pants. You're telling you bobbers about how you're pole dancing. Like, we are not the same, clearly.
We are not.
And that
That's so good.
reminds me. So in the last episode, I was talking about my one client's single that was out, "Stripper for a Week,"
Oh
and like
yes, I
the
listened to
whole
that.
concept of the song is like, if I could just do this for a week, the amount of money I could make to like pay off some bills, whatever. But like, you literally lived
Literally.
it. You literally
Yes.
lived
Oh my
stripper for
god,
a week.
yes. That's funny. Yep.
That's very cool. That's
Yeah,
her.
so
She was actually here just yesterday, and we were talking
oh,
about it, and she
nice.
was just talking about how like she's had a really good response from people in terms of like
Good.
a lot
I
of
was
people
wondering.
just telling her like, how relatable it is. They were like, my God,
Yeah,
like, seriously, like in this economy, for real.
for real.
And she said there's this one guy that I guess he's like followed her on her socials for quite a while, but she hasn't really interacted with him in a very long time. And I guess he said something. He goes, I would need 2 weeks. So she was like, you go get it, man. You have at it. Um, so
Yes. So
but
relatable, though.
but yeah, so relatable, so
I
relatable.
was
So
wondering about how her song was doing, like,
yeah.
if it's exceeded what she thought or expected, or if it's about
Yeah,
the
I mean
same, or
it's still very slow. What she said
yeah.
yesterday is compared to her last single, "Modern Day Woman," which is also a great song. This one is getting used a lot more on socials, which is what
Oh,
you want.
nice,
Like if we
good.
can get that going, like on TikTok, if people can start using it, then
Yeah.
that's really where a lot of the success comes in. So this one is getting used more than "Modern Day Woman" was, but it's
Nice,
still
that's good.
isn't like the big blow up you hope for, but not yet. It's
Yeah.
still very early. And
Yeah.
yeah, so if y'all haven't listened to Kimberly Kelly's "Stripper for a Week," shameless plug, go listen, put it on repeat, add it to your
Yes.
playlists, make
Yeah.
reels and TikToks with it, because that's ultimately
I've been meaning
aside
to do that
from,
too, actually. I keep
yeah,
forgetting, but
like
that's yeah.
streams and stuff. But
Mhm.
now you got something here, because
Now I fun fact.
you've
Yeah.
got some experience behind this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But anyway, yeah, so that's fun. That I didn't see that coming this episode. So
Nope.
that's a
No
good
one
one.
did.
So all
And on
right.
that note,
And on that note, let's talk about, do you have a quote
I
this
do.
time around? What you
Yes.
got?
So, I was gonna do it from a different podcast. I brought that up the past couple
Oh
weeks
yeah.
and, or past couple episodes, and I haven't quite finished. That's not the one yet. I'm still saving that, but there's a different one that someone sent me a photo of the transcript of this podcast, and I'm currently listening to it, but I just love this, because it can also be relatable to health and fitness, weight loss,
Mm,
muscle building, whatever your goal is. So, or just life, like being successful in financially or whatever it may be. So, this is on the podcast Modern Wisdom, and this is with the guest Matthew McConaughey.
okay.
So he says something before this, I can't see it, but then the next paragraph is, and what that means is they're in a very different position now to what they were at the beginning. And the summary is model the rise, not the results. Model the rise, not the results, because the results is where they're at now. Do not ask Warren Buffett about how long he spent reading the newspaper and poring over old books. That guy was a hustler. He was a hustler when he was young. What did you do when you were at that stage that I am at? Not what do you do now? Because I want to get to where you are. That means I don't do what you do now. I do what you did to get there. Model the rise, not the results. I love
Love
that.
that. There's
Yeah.
so many layers to that.
Yeah.
And like your Olympic lifting journey that you're about to start, man, that's a shit ton of content. Like you're
Yeah.
modeling being brave enough to fail at something new, or to not fail, but be
Yeah.
brave enough to suck at something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like modeling that
exactly.
we can all, any one of us can go ahead and start something new, and you're going to suck in the beginning because we're not born good at it, but
Right.
watch how hard I work. Watch, you know, the effort I put into it to get to
Yeah.
wherever my end result might end up being, you know?
Yeah, and also, like, if you're seeking advice from someone who is where you are,
Mhm.
like, keep in mind that that's where they are. Like, don't ask about them there, like, ask about
Yeah.
the stage that you the beginning stages and
Wherever
what that
you
was
are.
like, and model that versus, like, where they're at. Because
Yeah.
like, for me, like, even in my business, like, I want to be at a certain point, and, like, maybe I see people going on all these trips or doing on all of these things, and it's
Mhm.
like, I need to, like, take a pause and model not what they're doing now, but what
Yeah.
they did to get to that point based off of where I'm at
Right.
now. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of something. When I'm marketing coach, she says sometimes how, you know, a lot of people will look at social media and they'll look at other people that are in the same field. So, like, we might look at other fitness coaches and things, but we tend to really look at like these really big accounts that have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, and try to get ideas and like, oh, well, what are they posting? They're, you know, they're posting this, this, and this. And she's like, yeah, but they can because they have a million followers. They're like, if
Yeah.
they, you know, anything they post is going to get a lot of views and a lot of whatever. She's like, we are over here with our couple of thousand or few thousand followers. We need to be doing what's going to work for us at this stage, not for what, you know, don't replicate what those huge accounts are doing, because that doesn't make sense for us. And it makes me, just
Yep.
makes me think a lot, you know, like when I'm
Yep.
looking for ideas on social media and stuff, it's like, I mean, that's awesome, but they probably have like professional video and, you know, they
Mhm.
have like other
And
people
they have
doing this
help.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
are just me, myself, and
Exactly.
you know, like I
Yep.
always tell people like I'm the marketing department, I'm the accounting department,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, all the
the
things.
researcher, I'm the coach, I'm the, you know, and
Yeah.
yeah, so just always thinking about, you know,
Yeah.
where you are now, not
Yep.
trying to emulate that. And that's, yeah,
And
that
same
was a good
thing when
one.
you're trying to get like lose weight or lose body fat or
Mhm.
just starting. Maybe you're just starting your fitness journey and working out. It's like the very same concept of like you maybe see us doing the powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, or doing
Mhm.
heavy weights and all of that, and you want to get to that point, but it's
Yeah.
like getting,
Yeah.
taking the steps to get to that point first before you
Yeah.
take those steps.
Every single one of us started with the littlest dumbbells in the gym. You
Yeah,
know,
and
we all
small
did.
steps,
Yeah.
not
Take your
everything at
time.
once.
Do it,
Yes.
you know, listen to your body, follow your body. And you know,
Mhm.
people say things to me all the time like, "Oh, I can't lift heavy." I'm like, what do you like, heavy is such a subjective term. What's heavy for you might not be heavy for me, or what's heavy for me might not be heavy for you. But if it's heavy for you, then you are lifting heavy. I don't care if it's a
Yeah.
5 pound dumbbell. If that 5 pounds was heavy, then you just lifted heavy. Like, there's no
Yep.
number on what heavy means, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Um, yeah, that's very
100%.
cool.
Yeah. So love that.
Um,
All right.
all
What's the
right,
shirt?
my shirt says, this is a new one. Actually, I don't even remember. So it says, I'm just here to eat snacks and smash the patriarchy, and I'm almost out of snacks.
I love that. Nice.
So
That's good.
this is one of my T Public was running a sale, so I got a few.
Nice. That
Uh,
reminds me when you stood up that so it's in our social media posts, but if you haven't seen our posts, you bobbers, Kristen is short. Like I remember I was looking up at you when you were on the treadmill, and when you stepped down, I'm like, my head directly goes, like you are down. I'm like looking down at you. Like you are a tiny. When you said that you're a tiny human, you're not exaggerating. You're a tiny human.
no, I really
And
am a
even
tiny human.
when you have told me your weight in the past, like 115, like whatever it was, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, she's exaggerating. She's not 115. Like you got a
No,
lot of muscle and strength. There's no way.
yeah,
No, you are short. So
no,
you are like, there is
yeah.
no exaggeration. She is a
No.
short human.
Yes, all of those
It's
numbers are
crazy.
very real. Yeah, and it's funny too, because like sometimes I really hesitate to even say my weight, because like, you know, that's,
Yeah.
I am
Yes.
fully aware that that is a very low number. Like I actually just today, I weighed myself today for the first time since the meet, and mainly just to make sure I'm keeping tabs on, I don't want to keep losing weight. I'm trying to make sure that
Yeah.
I'm building back up. And another freaking low again today.
What are
It
you
was
at?
112.8. And I'm like, so I told Sam, actually, that's why. Remember, I told you before we got on, I was like, I had to get like dinner in the crock pot. Like, when I saw that, I
Yes.
was like, I have got to get better about making sure. So I immediately went in and threw like meatballs and sauce and veggies, whatever, into the
Holy
crock pot. And
shit.
yeah, I'm like, this is, I got to get my shit together. This is not good.
Yeah. Well,
Um, but like, I
that's
always
crazy.
hesitate to say it because like I realize that that is a very, very small number, but I am such a small person, like
Yeah,
in
you really are.
stature and everything. Like I'm a very, very
Yes.
petite person. So, you know, I even like I could stand up right now and grab a bunch of belly here, you know, because I'm
Yeah.
so small, even 112, yeah. So,
Yep.
it's always kind of weird for me sometimes to say like, and even like just today I made a post that said it was something about how like nothing feels as good as skinny or whatever, and then
Oh
I was
yeah.
like,
Yes.
really, because strong feels pretty damn good, and it was like a video of my deadlift. But, like sometimes I even hesitate to post stuff like that because I always worry people are looking at me like, well, you are skinny, you know what I mean? I'm
Dude,
like,
I get the same way.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I feel the same
I
way. Like, oh, you're not that strong, or you
like
don't look.
you don't get it because
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. So sometimes like but I'm like people I don't like again when you don't see in person, you don't realize just how tiny of a human, even bone structure and everything. I am a very small human.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's
Yeah.
relative, you know, it's all
Yep.
relative.
Yep.
But yeah, the first words Sophia said to me when I saw her in person was, "You're so short. Oh my
You're
God."
so short. Yeah, seriously. I was shocked.
Uh,
Yeah. So I just had to point that out.
yeah. All right. Now that we're like an hour into this episode, let's
I
talk about what we're going
know.
to talk about. I don't think that this topic will be super long anyway.
Yeah.
I think this will be kind of a fun one. We're going to talk
Yep.
about training. I guess we weren't sure what we were going to how to explain this, but different training methods like reps. I can't talk. Seps, whatever. Reps and sets and like just kind of different, I guess, like modalities kind of how you can sort of change up how you do your sets, how you can make lighter weights feel a lot harder, different ways to really like fatigue the muscle. And all of these are geared towards the idea of muscle growth. So,
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah.
There's like I even just thought of a couple others that I've done before that there's so like here's the thing too is like there's so many different ways to go about this
Hmm.
and to make exercises more challenging with like you said lighter weight or heavier weight and to kind of spice it up to have that fun factor
Yes.
again or to keep it interesting. But I think we need to make note that it is very important that you have a solid foundation first. Like you don't start
Hmm.
with these things. Start with the
Yes.
basics, start with the foundation, and then when you get to that point, that next level eventually like that is when it can be the most effective is because you know how to do the form, you know how to control your body, you know how to connect your mind to the muscle, you have the form down. So the
Yeah.
foundation has to be laid first before you get to any of these
Smart. Yep. 100%.
or
100%.
most of these. Most of
Most,
these. I would
yeah, most
yeah,
of the
not
some
all
of
of them.
them, a couple of them maybe, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
overall, like a lot of these, kind of the idea is to create so much muscle fatigue that you want to make sure you do have that really solid form foundation before before really doing some
Yeah.
of this. But and I like what you said too about, it just keeps it interesting too. Like sometimes, doing, 3 or 4 sets of 8 to 10 or 6 to 8 or whatever it is that we're doing, like sometimes it gets a little monotonous. So, every once in a while you can throw in some of these different types of sets that just kind of spices things up a little bit and
Mhm.
keeps it fun. So
Yeah.
cool. You wanna
Sure.
give one
Start it off or
first?
what?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna actually take it back to one that this was the first experience that I had with changing up and like not just doing a certain amount of reps and exercise or sets and reps. And it is, I think we called it a pyramid set, but there's different ways to do the pyramid
Hmm.
set, I would say. I thought it was progressive set, but it's probably pyramid set. I don't know.
It could be either.
But either, yeah, yeah. So let's take incline bench press, for example. And so you make sure you get the weights right away. Like all of them there's 3 sets of weights that you need. You need a light weight, you need a medium weight, and then a heavy weight. And so you start with doing lightweight for 15 reps. So 15 reps, you're doing the incline bench press. Set those down right away, grab the medium weight, you're doing 10 reps. And then you do 10 reps, set those down, you grab your heavy weight and do 5 reps. And then you set those down, you take, minute, 2-minute rest, and then you start with the 5 reps heavy, set those down, 10 reps medium weight, set those down, 15 reps lightweight. And the lightweight, you're like, holy shit, like I should have gone even lighter. Because at the beginning, it's going to be like, this is way too light, but no, you keep it at that. And the 15, 10, 5 is just an example. Like you could kind of mix it up and do high rep, maybe it's 12, and then go to 6, and then maybe it's 3, and then 3, 6, 12 again. So I really enjoy doing that. It's really hard to do, but yeah, that's the first one that I have ever had experience with changing up the modality of the training.
Yeah. Yeah. Those ones, I think this is going to come up a lot, but like some of these things, when you get to a light set, when you get to what should be a light set, you have like fatigued so much that you're like, I can't believe 5 pounds feels this heavy. Like, this is so
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
Yeah.
insane. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think that my first experience with anything like this was with Run the Rack curls. You ever do those?
Kiana made me do that one time.
Yeah,
When we
yeah.
first met, I was like, oh, and with overhead press, we've done that around the rack.
Yes, yes. I feel like you can do it probably with a lot of things. Rows, even like
Yeah.
dumbbell rows, maybe. But yeah, so Run the Rack is so we did it with curls, so I'll use that. But again, you can use it with anything. But you start with the lightest pair of dumbbells that they have. So like at my house, we literally have 3s. So I always make my client, they start with 3, then we go to 5, and then we have like I think it's 8s or 7.5s, and then 10. And then after that, I don't have like the in between. So then we go, it's like 15. I do have 17.5 and then 20. But anyway, so you start with the lightest you have. And kind of like you said, you want to have everything available right there because you don't want any rest in between. And you do, it's a give it, maybe you do 5 or 6, maybe it's 8. Like I think everybody kind of does it a little bit differently. I think when I give it, I normally have them do 5. So they literally do 5 reps with the 3-pound dumbbells. And they're like, really, Kristen, like this is stupid.
This
And they
is
put them
dumb.
down and then immediately grab the 5s, 5 reps, put them down, immediately grab the 8s and go all the way. And you keep going until you fail the 5 reps. So like, maybe you get up to the 15s or the 20s and you only get 1 or 2. And it's like, okay, you're done there, but you're not done yet. You're done going up. So now you work your way back down and repeat it in the opposite direction. So by the time you get back down to those 3s, you're like, oh my God, like why does 3 pounds feel like the worst thing in the world? And everyone jokes around too. They're like, it's embarrassing. Cause like my one client said that she's like, I swear nobody is around when I'm doing the heavy ones, but I'm struggling with the 5s and the
Oh my
3
God.
pounds. And that's when somebody turns a corner and looks at me and watches me struggling with 3-pound dumbbells.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. But man, it feels like you get such a pump from that too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's such like a
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
a bro thing to do. Like you feel all
Yes.
jacked after that. So for that, it would just be one single set and then you're done.
Yeah.
When you were talking like the progressive or the pyramid set, do you
Yeah.
it's like 2 sets, obviously, 1 up and 1 down. Is that where it stops or do you usually do more sets?
You know what? I can't remember. I think it was just the one and done. Like, I don't think it was like 3 sets of that. I think it was just like you just do that and you're taking the rest in between and then that's it, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
If I remember right.
Yeah. Yeah. With Run the Rack, I'm like I'm itchy right underneath my headphones and I can't get it. There we go. Yeah, with Run the Rack, you just do it one time. And it's kind
And
of a
then done.
nice way too to I normally might do 3 or 4 sets, but with Run the Rack, it's like, boom, like it's brutal, but then it's just done,
Yeah.
and you've
Yeah.
just done how much volume in a very short amount of time. And
That would be a good too, like, do you use that as like a finisher or like
Mhm.
at the end, even if yes, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. Yeah, I give it to them. It's like
Yeah.
the last thing that they do before
Yep.
they
I remember when Kiana had me do that the first time with overhead presses, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, exactly. It is like, but when you're done with it, you're just like, it's like the endorphins, man. Like it really like all of these kinds of things
Feels good.
when you take like muscle to fatigue to this extreme, like, yeah, it's like when you get the endorphins and you just, you feel good after. It's brutal, but it feels good. So the first one that I had on my list were drop sets. So like, for a drop set, you would do however many. So the most recent drop set I've done was with cable tricep, like push downs.
Yep.
And I would do, I don't remember. So this says you perform it until technical failure. So like when your form is about to break down. So, whatever weight you choose to do, you pick a weight that, or with whatever weight you choose to do, you pick an amount of reps that will like technically take you to failure. And then you'll reduce the weight. So as soon as you get to failure or your number of reps, however you do it, then you've reduced the weight by like say 10%. But like on the cable machine, I literally just move the pin, to the
Yeah.
next lighter plate
Yep.
that's on it. And so like I want to say I did them for like 10 reps. So I did like 10 and then immediately move that pin up to the next lighter weight, do 10 again, move it up to the next lighter. And I did I think I had 6 sets of it. So you end up doing like 60 reps by the time you're
Mhm.
done. But by the time you've moved that pin up 6 times, now I'm only at like, I don't know, 20 or something, which should be very easy to do, even like with one hand on a
Yeah.
cable, but you're like dying because like so much lactic acid and stuff has built up in your triceps where it's like, oh my God. But
Also
again,
brutal.
like, yeah, brutal, but you get a lot of work done very, very, very quickly. And
Yep.
which reminds me, on all of these, you don't want to do this on everything. You
Yeah.
pick
Right.
one exercise per body part, I would say at most
Yeah.
throughout the week. You don't make an entire workout of these types of things.
Right. Yeah. Yes. This is just something like to it's like an addition to what you already have, but like
Yes.
one time. So yeah, like I like these with bicep curls, tricep. Like it seems like drop
Yeah.
sets are really good with like the smaller muscle groups. I'll sometimes
Yeah.
do drop sets with like squats, barbell squats, but I normally
Yeah.
don't do drop sets with deadlift.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would do deadlift just because
No.
I feel like there's such a risk of like
Right. Injury
injury
and
with
just
fatigue. Yeah. But
yes.
one way I remembered, totally forgot until just a second ago, way years ago, we used to do on the leg press. So like you would
Yes.
purposely
Yep.
load the leg press with smaller weights, but a whole bunch of them. And then you have someone there with you. So like you might do your 8 or 10 reps or whatever. And then you have people take a weight off, whether like,
Yep.
let's say for just an easy number, let's say you're pressing 100 pounds. So you'd have 5 10s on each side of the leg press machine. So you do your 10 reps, then they would take a 10 off of each one. So now it's 80,
Yep.
10 reps, take a 10 off each side. And so
Yep.
then you drop down until you have empty sled.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun when we
That's
used to do that.
yes. Yep. Leg extension, leg curl, those are good ones too to do it.
Yes.
Now that you say that, I have for sure done it with squats, but like barbell back squats before. Um, what else have I done that with? Drop pretty much. I mean, rows. Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
do drop
You
sets
can do
for
with
pretty much anything
anything.
and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
easiest to do on things that are like machine stuff where if you're just
yeah,
moving a pin as opposed to physically having to take weights off.
yeah.
So you
Or
just
like
need
dumbbells,
another
but
person. Yeah, or dumbbells.
yeah,
But you just need another person if it's anything with that has weights on it, like the leg press machine or even a barbell or something. I mean, you could rack the
yeah,
barbell, take the shit off, but it's usually easier if you just rack it, have people take shit off and then unrack it and go. Because you
yes,
don't want to, the whole goal is to not have a lot of rest in between
yeah.
the weights, so you
Right.
don't want to
Yes.
but
Yep.
yeah, I really enjoy drop sets. I think they're a lot of
Yes.
fun.
I
They're
do
one of my
too. I do too.
favorites.
Yes. Same. Easy to do too. Easy to add.
Yes.
So. Yep.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
Okay, so this one I actually thought of while we were talking. We've kind of talked about this in a previous episode a little bit, but to pre-exhaust a muscle group, not
Mm,
only to feel it in your muscles more, but with the intention and purpose of pre-exhausting before you go into it. So like
yeah.
doing just because we've used this in the past, but like doing dumbbell flies and then going into like a bench press, like dumbbell bench press or whatever.
Yes.
So I've done that before a few times with not all the time, less. This is probably one that I don't do as often as like
Hmm.
drop sets, but just to throw it in there, pre-exhaust the muscle before you go into and also this is really good if you don't have if you work out from home and you don't have maybe a lot of weights. So I have a
Mm,
client who she only goes we only have a limited amount of dumbbells and kettlebells, not a lot.
sure.
So we're at the point now where when we're doing like a floor press, even with the kettlebells, like they're not super heavy. Like we can do like
Hmm.
12, 15 reps. So even though I've like slowed down tempo and things like that, I will have her do like dumbbell flies and then go into the floor press. And then it
Yeah.
makes it harder for her. So just doing different things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Smart. Well, you just mentioned tempo, so let's talk about
Oh, yeah.
tempo.
Yeah.
So tempo can be like mixed up so many different ways to make an exercise harder. So like I use it a lot for bicep curls, specifically when we were at a gym that only had dumbbells by the fives. It didn't have the in-betweens. And so I would have clients that could easily do 15 pounds, like 8 or 10 reps with 15 pounds, but with 20s, they could only get like 3 or 4, you know what I mean? And so what we would do then is I would have them do, they always start, and this is actually sort of a different thing I was going to talk about later, but I would always have them start with the 20s on their first set before they got fatigued, just to see how many they can get as kind of like a baseline. You know, if you only got 3 this week, let's see if you can get 4 next week, you know. But at the same time, I still want them accumulating more volume, like ultimately. So they would do the 20s just to get the heavy sets in and to like for that heavy stimulus. But then for their future sets, we would go back down to the 15s, but we would change the tempo to make it much more difficult. And so you know, usually tempo is like indicated with numbers. So I've always done it with 3 numbers, but when I was looking it up, they did it with 4. I guess apparently most people do it with 4. I've been doing it wrong. But it's like how many, the first number is how many seconds, like on a dumbbell curl, it would be how many seconds up. And then the second number is up the pause. And then the next number would be how many seconds down. And then the fourth number is if you pause at the bottom of it, which I never really do a pause at the bottom. So that's why I just never did it. So like you might do like 3. So what I would do with my clients is I would want them to be a little more explosive up. So I would do them like just a 1 second up, 0 seconds pause. You know, I don't need you to pause up at the top, but then might do 3 or 5 seconds down. So it's like, really
That's the
slow.
eccentric too. So if you see like people like sometimes there's like eccentric, concentric is the up, eccentric is the down. That's kind of how I remember it. And I've done so like I think another one that we can say with this is isometrics too, even.
Yes.
So doing like I'll sometimes have people hold a split squat or a wall sit, but like you're in that, like just isometric that way, or isolating whatever. I don't know. Sometimes people do like a 90-degree bicep hold.
Yeah.
But and you mentioned doing a pause at the bottom of a squat or pauses at the bottom. So like squats would be a good example of pausing at the bottom of the squat. That would be good. Like 3-4 second count down, pause, 2-3 seconds, or hip thrust, pausing at the top for that one.
Squeezing up.
But
that's
anytime the muscle is contracting is a good time to pause.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Right? Did I say that right? Yes.
Yeah. I think that's why like I never really did the fourth number is like the pause like at the bottom, because I'm like, why I don't care if I'm pausing down there. We want to be paused. Yeah.
Whenever the muscle is working.
When at the bottom of a bicep curl is what I mean, not like a squat.
I see.
Or something.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of isometric, so if isometrics, y'all, is just when you're holding like static holds, basically, like you're not actually like performing the rep. I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like a wall sit, you said, is a wall sit. Like you're holding for an extended period of time. One of the things it's funny. I was telling one of my clients, I was like, I was, kind of taking notes and things, getting ready for this episode. I'm like, and it was reminding me of all the stuff I used to do that I forgot I used to do it. And she goes, oh no. Just like, that's going to be a problem. It's going to start coming up in their programming. But
clients, if you're listening to this, you're going to start seeing some of this.
Brace yourself. But one that I used to do that there's 2 actually I used to do that I totally forgot is we would do lateral raises with an isometric. So like I might isometric here while I'm doing the lateral raise on this side and then hold this side.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
Brutal. Same with front
even overhead press. Yes, for raises, overhead pressing, do one side where you're holding, or chest press, like chest dumbbells.
Press. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those can get brutal in a hurry.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that until you just said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, Sophia's clients.
And also, so have you ever done a 10-second eccentric, like barbell?
Oh, not barbell, leg press. We've done it with leg press, but I've never done it with.
Oh God.
Yeah,
like a barbell bench press, 10 seconds down. Yeah, thanks to Kiana. That's how.
I was gonna say, I feel like maybe Coach has given me some of that. I get a lot of really long pauses on the chest for bench press, like where you just got to hold. And I actually, I better not say this because I suspect he might be listening. Coach, if you're listening, turn this off. Don't listen to it. I haven't gotten those in a while, but I think when I was getting them more is I was not as good about holding my paws tight on my chest. Like
Mm.
the bar would kind of sink in a little more. So he would like want me to get better about staying
Oh.
tight right there and not like relaxing into the chest. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
And so if I just stay tight there and then come up, so like super long pauses, but also in competition, you never like, thankfully at that meet in Columbus, the judge was very, very fast with the press command, but sometimes they can take a long time. Like you'll come down and press and you just like feel like you're waiting forever for them to say press before you go. So
Oh,
you
wow.
want to practice
You
very
wanna
like
practice
a
that.
variety of pauses because you never know what the judge you're going to get. You have no idea
Yeah.
if they're going to call it quick or not. My very first meet I ever did, I was the first person to go because it always goes in order of how much weight you're lifting. So the lighter weights go first and it works up to heavier.
Mm,
So
mhm.
it was my very first meet. I think that I opened with, I don't know, maybe 80 pounds or something. And so I was first. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous. And in powerlifting, when you bring the bar down to your chest and you have to pause it on your chest, they won't call the press command until there's no motion in the bar. Like it has to be completely motionless before they'll say press. I was so nervous. I was shaking. And so I'm holding it on and I was like, my nerves were going and it felt like forever. But I think he realized, oh, I think she's just nervous. Like it's not actually that like the bar is moving. And
Oh
so
my god.
thankfully it was a light enough weight. You always want your openers to be super lightweights because you want to make sure you get your openers. So that way, if you fail any of your others, it's not a big deal. And so
Yeah.
thankfully that was, we were smart about the opener we selected and it was light enough for me that it wasn't a big deal. But like holding down in that position for a long time is fatiguing. Like that can take a lot out of you.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
like that's to speak to the tempo thing. Like if you do throw any pauses in there anywhere, yeah, that'll take a lot out of you. So always want to account for that when you're choosing what weight you're going to do too.
Mhm.
Like I have to talk with
Yes.
my power lifters about that. Like if we're doing a standard competition bench, that is going to be very different than if I'm giving them a long pause bench or even,
Mhm.
people like there's never a time I don't pause my bench press except for like accessory benches. Like, if I'm doing like feet up bench or things like that, I don't really pause those,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
any other like normal bench press, there's never a time that I don't pause it. But I know people that aren't power lifters, it's just touch and go on your chest.
Yeah.
And so when I get people like athletes that want to come and do powerlifting, they're used to whatever weight they can do with touch and go, but now we have to switch to everything being paused. It's very humbling because like we got to take some weight off that bar because that completely changes
Yeah,
what you can
I
do.
that reminds me too, like, I have a client, he is, one of 2 clients, so I have 2 guy clients, that I train, and he is used to going in the gym and just throwing around weight, like,
Uh-huh.
just as heavy as he can, just boom, 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 repping out the reps, and I make him slow down the
Hmm.
tempo and take pauses. So, like, bench press, when we're doing dumbbell or barbell, he'll pause at the bottom and he'll pause at the top.
Yeah.
Overhead press, pause at the bottom, pause at the top, and he was humbled real quick.
Yep.
That and
Yep.
I love it. It's like, yeah, just
Yep.
slow it down and the
That's
tempo and the pauses make a huge difference.
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of a running joke in the gym with us. Like they'll see me. So when I don't do a lot of one-on-one. There's normally at least two, sometimes up to four. I don't have any more than four with me at a time. Two or three is typical. And so a lot of time, like while one person's resting, I'm like watching what the other person is doing. And so,
Yeah.
but sometimes they'll start doing it and I'll be looking over here at this person and then they'll start and I'll turn and look and they'll feel me looking at them. And they're like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, either, sometimes it's like, no, you're fine. I'm just, watching your form to make sure you're good. Or I'll come over and they'll see me start to come over and they'll be like, oh, okay. And so I'll tweak, their form or,
Yes.
get your elbows over here, whatever it might be, and they'll go to do it like, "Oh, but that's harder." I'm like, "Yeah, because 'cause you're
Yep.
doing it right."
That's what I'm saying. I get the same, like, "Oh,
Yes.
that's a lot harder." Yep.
Yeah.
That's
That's
funny.
that's the idea.
That's hilarious.
Okay, what else do you got?
Let's see. I'm curious to know your thoughts on, and if you do this, like, pulses or half reps. There's a lot of, I feel like, controversy
Um,
with half reps, it seems like, but
um, yeah, I am okay with I think it depends on the purpose. I think
yeah, for sure.
with anything, it's always going to depend on the purpose. I like, especially for like a burnout type thing, I like, for example, one of the things that I like to do personally, I don't know that I've ever given it to anyone. But when I do hip thrusts, I normally will do like 3 or 4 sets of usually about 5. And on my last set, I'll do my 5, and then I will just do the top half hip thrusts just until failure. So like
Yeah.
just the partials on the top half until failure, and then I call it good. So,
Yeah.
but for me, like the whole point of it, I purposely want to kind of burn out and,
Burn it out. Yeah.
really get my glutes. Yeah. So,
Yeah. That's like, yeah. Usually it's at the very end of an exercise, like the last set, like I'll
mhm.
have clients do I usually don't do pulses actually, maybe every night like hip thrust, but it's usually the half reps or like the top half or the bottom half or like quarter reps. So sometimes like if you
Mhm.
go full squat, full squat
Yes.
down, come in like halfway and then all the way down and then back up, or
Yeah.
how am I trying to say that? Quarter rep,
I
full rep.
I had I totally forgot. You just reminded me. This was before I was a coach. This one program that I did, they called them suicide reps, and it was like a full
Oh.
squat, a half squat, a quarter squat, and that was 1 rep.
Oh yeah.
And then
Oh
you go
yeah.
back down full squat again, half,
Yeah.
quarter, and that was rep 2.
Yep. Yep.
Those were harsh.
Yes, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, doing stuff like that. I've also done, like, on leg extension, doing, like, the
Mm.
top half, like, top half of the rep there, and, lateral raises. I've done
Mm.
partial reps with that, like, just to get the
Yes.
shoulders. Yeah,
What I
that's
really like we would do with lateral raises is, because when you think about your lateral raise, when is it hard? It's not hard until you're, like, halfway up.
mhm.
So, we would do half top half, bottom half with different weight. So, we
Yeah.
would do top
Oh,
half with
yeah,
lighter,
okay.
and then the bottom half, you can do heavier weight. So,
Oh, yeah,
they would
that's
use
good.
heavier dumbbells for the bottom half and then
Yeah.
drop them and do lighter dumbbells for the top half. Because
Yes.
it's like when you think about it, how like, if I'm using, say 10s or 12s or whatever, because lateral raises, um,
Yep.
it's am I getting anything? This whole bottom half of the movement, am I getting much out of that? I mean, maybe something, but I don't know how much I'm
Right.
getting out of it. But if I can overload the bottom half with what actually feels heavy for that
That's
range,
good. Yeah.
yeah, we do that a lot.
Mhm.
Not quite the same as like the half reps and quarter reps, like you're saying, but it reminded me when we're talking about pauses, like even with squats, I will sometimes give a double pause or like regular pause squat at the bottom, or sometimes a
Yep.
double pause. So like I'll have them pause at the bottom and then pause halfway and then come up.
Yes. Yes.
And a
Yep.
lot of times you can use that for like, that's really good just to make it more difficult. But I think really the most of the time when I use that is when I have people that are really working on not falling forward in their squat, like with the bar, getting
Mhm.
them to come up only to that point and pausing there really, it's like a psychological, like it forces, um I don't know, like it forces their brain where they are keeping their chest up a little better
That makes sense, yeah.
in the squat, because we're like kind of pausing at that point where they might be going forward, and we work out like the cue we always give them is like push your back through the bar. So like you're just really working on pushing your back through the bar as you come
Mm,
up.
mhm.
So sometimes a lot of these things are not even necessarily about making an exercise harder, but it can be about really reinforcing a particular point in that lift where maybe you have a weakness.
That's a
Um,
good point, yes.
so yeah.
Or I've done that with bench press, barbell bench press, like
Mhm.
going all the way down, pause at the halfway, and
Yes.
then going all the way
Yep.
up. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up. Mhm.
Unfortunately, coach gives me a lot of those because
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's my slow spot. Like off the chest,
Yeah.
I've been getting better on, but it's like that halfway and up
Mhm.
is where, like that's where it slows down. So that's where we want to focus the work,
Yep.
because that's,
Yep.
yeah, good call.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's talk about these Myo-Reps. This came
Yes,
up.
let's
This is
do
what
it.
you asked me about in the last episode. If I'd ever heard of it. And I was like, no, like I've never heard of that. What is that? And so then you were talking about, and Kiana had seen it on TikTok or something.
Yeah.
And literally on Wednesday of this week, 2 days ago, I open up my workout and coach has given me Myo-Reps. So that's why I feel like, is he listening? And he heard me say
That's
that I
so
don't know
funny.
what they are. Or is it a complete coincidence that for the first time ever in my life, and however
There's
eight,
no way that's a
I
coincidence.
can't. Coach.
Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I
Coach?
don't know. You listening? So
I don't know.
Myo-Reps. I'm suspicious of things.
Uh,
But they are, so basically what it is, and when I read like the exact description of it, it was exactly what he had me do. And it was so this says 12 to 20 reps is the first set. So like an activation set they called it. And it's 12 to 20 reps with a heavy weight. So you will get to failure by that, whether you're whatever range you get. He had me do, my range was 16 to 20. And so I had to pick a weight where I was going to fail 16 to 20. And he actually gave it to me. I had two different things that had this. One was cable seated row, but like upper back. So it was like with the wide
mm,
bar and like hitting up high. It was
mhm.
these. And then the second thing back to back, it was rolling dumbbell tricep extensions. So kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
skull crushers, but like rolling back.
Yeah.
And Lord. So it was 16 to 20 was the activation set. So pick a weight where you'll fail between 16 and 20. And then the way he gave me the pauses was he told me to take 5 deep breaths. So it was
Oh, that's a
16 to
good
20
idea.
reps, 5 deep breaths, and then the rest of the reps, or the rest of the sets, the myo sets. What do we say that means? Mini? Is it mini sets?
Mini, it's like mini, yeah.
Yeah. So the rest of the mini sets, myo sets, are 1/4 of whatever you did on the activation set. So if you got to 16 when you failed, then you would do 4 reps on all of the myo sets. And if you got to 20, then you would do 5 reps on all the myo sets. And he gave me 6 mini sets after. So I had that first activation set where I went to failure, 5 deep breaths, 5 reps, 5 deep breaths, 5 reps, repeated that for 6. And so I was like, hold on. So I just did 20. And then I just did 6 sets of 5. I just did 50 reps, coach. Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing? What is
Yeah.
happening right now?
Yeah.
But it was the first time I've ever done that. And my triceps are still sore from
Mhm.
the extensions.
Yep. I bet. And
Yeah.
you could, I mean, like, even if you, so like my brain is like, okay. So I've actually done this too with a client where we did leg extension on the machine, and
Mhm.
I had her do however many reps she could do and then rest 10 seconds, however many reps
Mhm.
she could do, rest 10 seconds, however many reps you could
Yeah.
do, rest 10 seconds. So it's like kind of similar, same concept, like a little bit, I think, but it's just a
Yeah.
short amount of rest time, right? In between
Yes.
before you go in and you do
Yep.
more of that.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah. So it's
super
just
short rest.
10-15 second rest or like the 5
Yeah.
breaths. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
on this thing when I looked it up, it said rest for only 5 to 10 seconds, and then in parentheses it says about 3 to 5 deep breaths.
Okay. Yeah.
Is how they describe it. So yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
and with yours though, it's just instead of a set number of reps, it's just
It's just
whatever
a
that
fail.
number is to failure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like with each time you might go less and less reps, but yeah, whatever it is to
Sure. Yeah.
failure. Yeah.
Yeah. I did those tricep things with 5s. I was dying. I was dying. I was like, this
Yeah.
is oh my goodness. Um, yeah. Yeah, so that's what the myo sets, whatever the hell it's
Myosets,
called.
reps. Yeah. I don't know.
That's what that is, and that was brutal. It's similar because I even said to you in that last episode, I was like, "Is that like a drop set?" So it's like kind of similar to a drop set, but you don't drop the weight. The weight
No,
stays the
yeah, you're
same.
keeping the same weight.
Um,
Same weight.
yeah, keep
Yeah.
the same
I'm
weight.
glad you said that because some
Mhm.
people might think to drop the weight. No, you're
Yeah,
not dropping the weight, not changing the
yeah,
weight, same weight.
same
Yep.
weight. It's just that you're dropping the reps that you do is what goes
Yes.
down to the mini
Yes.
sets, but it's the weight stays the same.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was fun though. Like as much as I want to make a big deal about it, it was fun. It was very similar, fun in the same sense that the drop sets are fun.
Yes. Yes.
Um, all right. Do you have what else? Do you have anything else? I don't know what I have here.
Um No, I think that's all that I had. The only other thing would be like I'm thinking in terms of like sometimes to make the exercise harder to create your own resistance. I mean, it is kind of tempo, but like it's more of a mental thing. Like just practice, see if you can connect your mind to the muscle a little bit
Yeah,
more. That's really that's not like a physical thing, but more of like the mental aspect is like, okay,
yeah,
how can I make this exercise harder? Not by not by doing these things, yes, but then also now it's like, okay, how can I maybe connect my mind to the muscle to make it harder? Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, the more you think about that muscle, theoretically, the harder it's going to work.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I think again, like you said, it's not anything. It's literally just training. But I think being very conscious of the speed of the reps that you're doing. So even if it's just a normal, regular, plain old set, if you're pumping it out super fast to get it done because it's heavy, you're not really getting as much of a benefit as if you would take your time, maybe lower it 5 pounds, but take your time with it and do some really good, conscious thinking about the muscle, solid sets. You're going to get a lot more benefit from doing that versus just like pumping it out, just kind of
Yep.
ego lifting a little bit, just for
Yep.
the sake of the weight.
Yep.
Um,
Yep, I
um,
always even with my online clients, like, I always will sometimes I'll do specific tempos and, like, the eccentrics of, like,
mhm.
what we talked about, but overall, I'm always, like, so in control.
Slow and
I
control
want
is what
slow
I
and
always think.
control reps.
Like
Yes.
slow and controlled reps, like even
Yep.
things like dead bugs. I give a lot of dead bugs.
Yes.
All
I
the
love dead
different
bugs.
versions and
Mhm.
variations. Dead bugs are one of my favorites. And one of the things that I'm always telling them, especially particularly my the ones who come back after having a baby, like the
Yeah.
postnatal, just because we're like healing the diastasis and whatnot, or potential diastasis. And
Yep.
so I'm always like, when they come back, like their whole first postnatal block is every single exercise talks about the breath and talks about the
Yeah,
slow and
that's
control,
good.
like working on the breathing. And so like when you have your leg go out on a dead bug, like that should be a full exhale all the way out just to get your
Yep.
diaphragm to relax, and then you can inhale coming back in. But I find they find it so hard to focus on their breath. Exhale all the way, inhale, other leg, exhale, because they want to just boom, boom,
Go
boom, boom.
fast.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
and
I'm
rep it
like,
and to get it done, it's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna ex." I'll
right.
have some clients that goes really fast just because they wanna get it done, and I'm like,
Yes.
"Nope, slow down." I make them pause when they're in that full extension, like, "We're pausing.
Yes.
2, 1, okay, go."
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
yeah.
Cause I try to tell them, full exhale, like a nice, slow, full exhale. We want your diaphragm, all that stuff to happen. And so you almost have to pause because you're waiting for exhale for
Yep.
the whole exhale to
Yep.
go. So you
Yeah.
almost have to. But yeah, it's I find that a lot of times they look like they're riding a bike. They're just like boom, boom. I'm
Mhm.
like, wait, what are we doing? Nope,
Mhm.
nope, 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 nope,
Yeah.
slow this down.
What are we doing?
We did talk
Yes.
before, I think in the last, I don't remember which episode it was, but supersets. So like that is another thing technically that would fall into this category of different ways of doing things. But
Yeah.
supersets are where you can do it's 2 exercises back to back with no rest in between, and then you rest after the 2.
Yep.
Sometimes you do it with like different muscle groups. Sometimes you might do it with the same muscle group, all just depending
Mhm.
on your purpose. So I don't know if we
I'll
need to.
sometimes Yeah, I'll say I sometimes do like a tri-set or a triple set, like with 3
Mm-hmm.
exercises,
Yeah.
like maybe it's like a core and then 2 exercises. Again, maybe it's same muscle groups, different muscle groups. Or like I guess 4 or more would be like a circuit style. So like even doing this is like I like doing this if you're short on time too, whether it's like a
Yes.
superset or the triple set or even if it's 4 exercises.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what your purpose is, what the
Yeah.
intention is behind the workout, but
Always
it's just a different way to
different way
change
to
up
do
that
it. Change it up.
modality. Yeah.
And then the last thing was just a couple like specific like finishers or burnouts that we've done. And one of them, again, I totally forgot I used to give this. And you ever do 21s with bicep curls?
Yes. Oh my
Love
god. I totally
21s.
forgot about that.
I did too.
Yes.
I did too. And I was
Oh,
like, oh, look out.
jeez.
Whoever's
Those
programming
suck.
is getting written this weekend. You're about to get some
Yeah.
21s. So what a 21 is, it's 7 reps. It's 3 ways, 7 reps each, which adds up to 21. So I usually do, I mean, you can do them with dumbbells too. I normally do it with an easy bar. I'm not sure why I
Oh,
always
yeah,
do
I've
that,
done
but you can do it with
dumbbells.
dumbbells too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the top half. So you start with like your elbow at 90. It's just the top half, 7 reps of the top half of a curl. Then you bring your arms all the way down, and it's 7 reps only from all the way down to the halfway point. So 7 at the top, 7 at the bottom, and then 7 full all the way up and
Full.
down.
Mhm.
Yeah, those will get you.
Those are
Those will
brutal.
get you. And then
Yeah.
the other one was a couple that we were talking about right before we recorded, the shoulder ones that I would give. One of them, actually, my coach gave me these for the first time, and they call them shoulder tremors. And the idea is to target your rear delts. And so you definitely get lighter dumbbells than what you expect. And you do like either 5 or 8. I think 8 is the most we've ever done. I don't think I've ever done like 10, but so you do a bent over rear delt fly for 8 reps, and then immediately stand straight up and you do 8 lateral raises, and then immediately go into 8 front raises, and then immediately 8 overhead press. Holy crap. Like by the
Woo!
time you get to that overhead press, you are those dumbbells feel like bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
I need to try that.
brutal.
I've never done that before, but I need to try that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah,
it
it's a
seems
good
brutal.
one. It's a good one. And then the other
Brutal.
thing was we do, and so like you can do this with a lot of things too, but like ladders. So we do an overhead press ladder, and it kind of almost is like with the isometric too, like you had talked about. So like you both dumbbell in each hand, and you just do your right for 5 reps, keep it up, left, or actually keep it up here,
I
left
was gonna say,
for
yeah,
5
yeah.
reps, and then you do right for 4, and then
Yep.
do each one for 4, but you keep it up. Then you do 3, 2, 1, and then after you do 1, you do both arms together until you fail.
Yep, you can do that with bench press too,
Ooh.
even like dumbbell bench press,
Yeah.
or what other lateral raises, like having
Yep.
holding out one.
Yep. Yeah. Front
Yeah,
raises, lateral
those. Yep,
raises.
yes,
Yeah.
those are good.
Yeah.
Bicep curl. Yeah,
Yeah, any
tricep.
kind of
Yeah, so
ladders.
many.
So yeah, you just
Yep,
start
I
with,
like those.
you choose 5. You can do 8, you can do 5. I don't want any like super high number, but I think 5 or 6 is usually, I think, pretty the most common. So you do like
Yeah.
5 and then 4, then 3, 2, 1, and then just go to failure. So you can do that with almost anything. But that is the last that
Good
I had
stuff.
on my list.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's all that I had too.
It covers it.
Fun stuff.
Woo! A lot of these we went through really fast, y'all. So if you have questions, please let us know in the socials or send us a email or message.
Or if you try it out, let us know how it goes.
Yeah, record
Thank us
it
later.
That's
Tag
right.
us.
Yeah, record it, put that in your stories and tag us. Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
That'd be awesome.
Totally. And you can tag us on all the socials at YouBobPod. YouBobPod. I feel like I have to say it every time now.
I know. I have to.
YouBobPod. Yeah, email is at YouBobPod. I always say at YouBob. Email is YouBobPod at gmail.com.
Yes.
And yeah,
I think that's it.
I think that's it. I hope y'all have a super rad next couple weeks.
It's supposed to be super nice. Well, here in South Dakota, we got hit with the storm, snow,
Oh.
the road. We even had road closures.
Oh,
In the past couple days, it's been nice, like short and tank top weather. Like it's so nice. It's supposed to be 80 this weekend. Yes,
Us too. We have 80 this weekend also.
Oh, I'm so excited. And I don't know if it's supposed to get colder and snow again, but I mean, it probably will. That's just what happens in the Midwest.
Yeah.
But enjoy the nice weather.
Yeah.
It's nice weather.
Get
and
outside. Enjoy.
I've been loving the sun, staying out later. Oh my God.
Me
it feels
too.
So good.
Me
I love
too.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
sure. All right, guys.
All right.
Till next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.